Hi, I'm Agnel Angle. I'm playing more Greatest Attorney. We're about to get into case 3, and it's exciting. It's a good one.
Glancing over my records of the late last century, I am faced by the events of a certain bitter winter. A murder in a carriage as it sped through dense London fog in the dead of night. Though the victim and the perpetrator were the only ones inside, there were multiple witnesses to the crime itself. However, none could have imagined at the time that such a seemingly obvious case as this would end in such a horrendous manner. My friend, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, once said of the incident, "I believe that perhaps that case was indeed the prelude. The beginning of a long concerto that impressive Japanese student and I were to play together."
Amazing. Is this really just a railway station?
Railway station or not, I've never seen such an enormous building before.
And look at all the steam locomotives. This country is incredible.
I feel like I'm dreaming.
So this is the capital of Great Britain.
So, where to?
Oh, hello.
Climb aboard. I'll take you wherever you want to go.
In that case, the Supreme Court in Whitehall, if you wouldn't mind.
My pleasure. I suppose you're visiting students from abroad, eh?
Yes.
Thought so. Well then, I hope you enjoy your stay. And welcome to the centre of the world, Great Britain's mighty capital, London.
Here we are. Now this is the place. That's what I'm saying. This office is ridiculous. You got doves. What an incredible place. That's what I'm saying, man.
It's so imposing. It's almost suffocating.
Right? This place is breathtaking. It's like a fortress with books.
There's some stone buildings like this in Japan now, of course, but they've only been built in the few short decades since we opened our borders to the outside world. An authentic example like this has quite a different impact, wouldn't you agree?
Oh goodness, it's been a while. It's been a couple weeks since I recorded, I think.
A far cry from the wood and paper most of our buildings are constructed from.
It's certainly unfamiliar. But I think there's more to the differences than just construction materials. No, I don't see it personally. What is this place again?
This is the Lord Chief Justice's office, Naruhodo-san, in the Supreme Court of Great Britain, idiot. How did you not know that?
Lord Chief Justice.
We had instructions to report here at this time, if circumstances were different. We were supposed to let the Lord Chief Justice know that we had arrived from Japan.
But Kazuma can't.
No. So instead, we are here in a different capacity, as envoys to report the news of Kazuma-sama's death.
Yes.
And having delivered his or her message, an envoy's duty is done.
So, we'd have to return to Japan.
If you want to remain here in Great Britain,
I have to take Cosmo's place as the law student selected for the study tour. Goodness, I'm struggling today.
Yes, which means you need the requisite qualifications as a lawyer.
Which is what I've been studying for.
Here in Great Britain, it's the Lord Chief Justice who appoints lawyers.
He appoints every single one personally.
So that's the second reason why we're here, to have you officially recognized as a lawyer. It's the only way that we'll be able to remain here in London.
Hope I'm up to scratch. Ah, good morning. Sorry for keeping you. It's under construction. Don't worry. Oh. I trust you aren't too exhausted after your long voyage from Japan? I'm trying to make him different than other folks. Seems I'm 1 hour, 12 minutes and 47 seconds late. My apologies. Oh, no, don't mention it. We're never happier than when we're standing around with nothing much to do. Renosuke. How fortunate. Oh no. So, introductions. I am Mayo Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of the British Empire. He's so cool. Oh, and I feel like a little mouse under an elephant's foot. Yeah, by the way, that guy, he's 6'5". By the way, I feel like that's an important thing to know.
Come on, Mr. Naruhodo, don't be a mouse.
Oh, it's an honor to meet you, Lord Chief Justice Strongheart. I'm Rinosuke Naruhodo from the Empire of Japan. Well, Mr. Naruhodo. Welcome to London, the capital of our glorious British Empire. The birds that fly out. Oh, it's so good. He has them trained. He sits and trains them. Oh, it's genius. Ah, yes, thank you. Why do they need a fade to black? Alright, we're gonna look at stuff. Is this some kind of a clock?
Actually, I think we might be inside some sort of giant clock. But those gears are larger than anything you'd find on even a steam locomotive.
Same thing. It's eerie. Do you think clocks are some sort of hobby of his? The Lord Chief Justice, I mean. He's right here. We can ask him.
Well, boys do enjoy fiddling around with machines, don't they?
Dang, okay, Susato. I'm not sure you could fiddle with cogs that size, and I'm certain you couldn't call him a boy. Still, it's amazing how little noise the cogs make considering how large they are. Lots of oil. There's actually something quite soothing about their precise rhythm. Okay. His chair is so big.
This must be the Lord Chief Justice's desk. I believe it's made of marble.
A marble desk. Looks more like an over-the-top tombstone that's toppled over to me.
I think that's your fanciful imagination at work again, Mr. Naruhodo.
Feels like everything that's normally made out of wood and paper at home is made of brick and stone here.
I know. That's why this place feels so overbearing, I'm sure.
It's not the cogs. It doesn't have anything to do with that or the armor plates here. The plates? It's not plates, is it? The armor statues, I guess. Whatever. Look at these menacing metal giants facing each other across the room. Oh, let me get out my book of wisdom.
I believe they're suits of armor.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Oh, right. I thought maybe they were like the lion dogs we have in Japan guarding shrine gates.
No, not at all. In fact, in Europe, suits of armor like these are always possessed by evil spirits, you know. And they roam around in the middle of the night.
Really? Is there nothing you don't know, Mr. Sato?
This book tells me everything I need to know about everything. If you're ever unsure, just ask.
That's exactly what that is. It's an 8-ball. She literally has the book of knowledge. It's just infinite knowledge. It's so good. Where did she get that incredible tome? Right? Yeah, I'm bored. We're gonna talk to him. Before I forget what his voice is as well. So, what are your impressions of our capital so far? How do you like London? Oh, help. Me too, Rinosuke. Oh, that's such a mood. I've been so nervous ever since I got here that I can't remember a single thing about the city. I mean, I literally only saw it for like 30 minutes.
It's simply splendid, isn't it, Mr. Naruto?
Oh.
We had a wonderful view of some of London's streets from the carriage on the way here from the station. Everything is so impressive and grand. I must say I'm almost lost for words.
I'm glad to hear you like it. The city boasts tramways, piped water and gas, even cables supplying electricity. We spearhead every revolutionary new technology in the world. Every visitor to London is astounded. Okay. Little bit of a London supremacist much?
Oh yes, astounded is the word.
Thanks for saving me there, Susato-san.
And everyone seems so jolly and full of vigor. You look so jolly, Mr. Strongheart.
Yes, you have no idea how jolly and full of vigor I am right now. There's much excitement about the upcoming great exhibition we will be hosting here in London.
Great exhibition.
Oh, I love the whoosh. It's good. It's gold. It's so scary though. I would run if this guy was twirling his cane in my face with that voice, with doves flying around in his clock office. I would run. Cultural and technological achievements from around the globe are to be exhibited here in our great city. It will be the greatest spectacle of its kind in history, and will make Paris's World Fair look like a toy shop.
Gosh, I can hardly imagine how magnificent it's going to be.
Great Britain's capital city is nothing but magnificent. London is the center of the modern world. Okay. Even if you do say so yourself. Huh? That's it? Wait, that was the end of the statement? Even if you do say so yourself. Okay. The sun will never set on our great empire. Perhaps it is fate that in these progressive times we welcome visitors from the land of the rising sun. Ha ha ha. Do you like my joke? I'm quite a jokester. We have fun in the Supreme Court of Judicature or whatever it's called. In the Lord Chief Justice's office.
Lord Chief Justice, I think you were expecting a student of law for this study tour, weren't you?
Absolutely. Mr. Kezuma Asagi, if my memory serves. He had it written on his hand. He was looking at his hand and reading it. That's right. British government has already been telegraphed a full report on the situation. I understand the young man lost his life aboard the steamship bound for our shores.
It's amazing. The news reached him before we even arrived.
Oh, if only he lived in 2022. My country naturally extends its deepest condolences to yours.
Oh, thank you.
And you honored this appointment specifically to inform me of the news.
Yes. We are here in the capacity of envoys from Japan to report the sad news in person.
Oh my gosh, you Japanese. Good grief. They tell me you Japanese are people of protocol and courtesy, and I see that it's true. And it is with some regret that I must inform you. The death of the young lawyer means the study tour arrangement can no longer proceed.
If you would just hear us out, Lord Strongheart.
Look at her go. Oh, look how far he has to look down to see her. My friends, when I'm anywhere. What do you have to say, madam?
It's about the study tour. Mr. Naruto here would like to make a proposal. Can't believe I have to do all of your talking for you.
Would he now? Well, Mr. Naruto.
This is it then. The moment of truth.
Oh, good grief.
The thing is, Lord Justice, Lord Strongheart, what do I address you as? I was wondering if perhaps you would consider allowing the study tour to go ahead.
You can't lead with that. Like, you have to explain how. Don't misunderstand me. Britain would ideally like to see the study tour go ahead. But without a lawyer from your country, there's nothing to be done. Well, in that case, what if there was someone else? Another lawyer from Japan, I mean. Is there something I don't know? Oh, I don't like that. Only a single lawyer was invited to Great Britain from your country. Well, I kind of illegally, I kind of stowed away on the ship with your star student. Now that I'm saying this out loud, it actually doesn't sound like a good idea. And that was Mr. Asogi. At least, that is what I've been led to understand. Well, the thing is, this really isn't going well at all. I just can't seem to find the right words to say to this man.
Mr. Naruhodo.
I could ruin things here if I'm not careful. What am I going to say? If there's someone else here from Japan who could be described as a lawyer, it's... Well, like, okay, but arguably, couldn't Susato be more described as a lawyer than he could? Because, like, she is more qualified to stand in a court of law than I am currently. All I've done is study. Like, all I've done is read some books. But, the correct answer is, it's me. It's me. I can do it. Is that so? Yeah. I mean, I don't actually have any qualifications as such, but don't lead with that. No qualifications, you say, and yet you still claim yourself to be a lawyer? I have acted as a lawyer in court before. Only once, as it happens, and it was because I was the accused, and I had Kazuma to help me, and I was the accused, but glossing over the details. I've been spending every spare moment on the journey here to Great Britain studying. I've learned all about British law and court proceedings while I was on board the SS Burya. The voyage from Japan is some 50 days, I believe. Not what you might call a full education. To become a qualified lawyer here in Britain, not only do you need a university degree in law, you must also complete several years of training. I realize it's far too short a period of time, but I can't just go back to Japan. Kazuma, Mr. Asogi's journey had only just begun. Coming here on this study tour was all he thought about. I have to carry it out and do everything he planned to do. I know it must sound like I have an overly inflated opinion of myself, but I would do anything to prove that I have what it takes. Any test you care to set me. Just one chance. It's all I'm asking for. Please! Okay, don't beg him. Don't beg him. You don't look very professional. 31 seconds. Sorry? Your opening statement there, Mr. Naruhodo, was 31 seconds long. Not too brief, not too protracted. Perfectly judged appeal, I would say. Which is a skill that would stand you in good stead as a lawyer. Oh, thanks. So, you're willing to put those words to trial, are you? Well, I'm all for entertainment. Huh? Let me ask you one thing first, sir. Yes? You say you intend to do everything Mr. Asogi planned to do. Are you firmly set on that path? Well, yes, that's my intention. I see. Am I imagining things, or did his expression just alter a fraction there all of a sudden? Not that we could see, but thanks for giving us that note. Very well. You have your wish. I'll give you a chance. A test to become a specially certified lawyer. Whether you pass or fail is entirely down to you. Really? Well, then I choose to pass. So, what form will the test take, exactly? Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, what do you consider the role of a lawyer to be? Well, a defense attorney is to defend people in a court of law. Well, defending people in a court of law, of course. Yep, good job. You pass. That's it. Well said. So, let's have you defend someone. Ooh. Huh? Your timing is perfect, in fact. There's an apt trial about to begin later today. No advocate has been appointed for the defense as yet, but this will be welcome news. So this will be welcome news.
Today? Straight away?
If you manage to secure a verdict of not guilty, you'll have passed my test. What could be simpler? So irresponsible. Oh, how do I get myself into these situations?
Well, could I ask, what sort of trial is it, Lord Strongheart?
This is an Ace Attorney game. It's murder. Yes, good question. Ah, I remember. It's a murder trial. Obviously.
A murder?
An extremely simple case, I understand. You really can't lose.
That's easy to say.
But I should mention, just in case, if the defendant is found guilty, he will of course be sentenced to capital punishment. Good grief.
Capital punishment? He'll be put to death?
Here in Great Britain, murderers are sent to the gallows without exception. Presumably you read that much in your short sea-based introduction to British law.
We can't possibly agree to such a test.
Wow! Look at her go!
We would be toying with a man's life.
You tell him, Susato. Get him. I am the Lord Chief... Okay, no. I am the Lord Chief Justice, and I've decided it's acceptable.
But you can't do that, can you?
It's scary that he can. That's concerning. There's no need to overcomplicate this. All you have to do is ensure that you don't lose. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, one could say.
So the defendant may live or die depending on how well I perform in court? If I lose, he'll be hanged.
They didn't say hanged. Mr. Naruto, you've come to me claiming to be a lawyer. I actually didn't claim to be a lawyer. If you want me to take you seriously, you need to prove you're willing to do a lawyer's job. And you say you intend to see through the will of your compatriot, Mr. Asagi, sorry. I would like to understand just how far you're willing to go in order to make that happen.
He's testing my resolve. That's not until the next game. The resolve of Ryunosuke Naruto.
What's the matter? You've fallen silent. I'm sorry, but time is pressing. The trial begins shortly. I need an answer from you now. What's it to be?
What do I say? Do I agree to this absurd test?
Okay. The first time I played it, I said I wouldn't do it. So we're saying that again.
Alright then, if I have to give you a decision now, my answer is I can't do it. I can't get the words out.
Oh my gosh, of course not. 15 seconds. Your decision making needs work if you want to be a lawyer. That was too slow. So, it's as I suspected, is it?
Sorry?
You have noble intentions, but lack the resolve to see them through. The test is cancelled. Thank you for stopping by. Go and acquire your ticket for passage back to the east tomorrow. This conversation is over.
Yes, Lord Strongheart. Thank you for offering me a chance.
Mr. Naruhodo.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Sato, but what could I do?
It's alright. I understand.
You do?
It's not an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. But resolve has absolutely nothing to do with it.
What are you trying to say, madam?
I think what Mr. Sato means is that no matter how badly I'd like to be recognized as a lawyer and stay here in Great Britain, to risk another man's life by treating his one and only chance at a trial so trivially would be utterly unforgivable, and I feel the same way. I'm sure the defendant won't see this trial as a test, as some kind of experiment. A lawyer may fight for his clients in court day after day, but for each one of those clients, the particular day they stand in the dock may be the only chance they have to fight to prove their innocence. No, I was wrong. I'm not qualified to do that job yet. I'm sorry for wasting your precious time, Lord Chief Justice.
Listen to him! He's doing such a good job. I'm proud. You tell him off. Wait, Mr. Naruhodo. Ooh. We were leaving and he told us to come back.
Oh, was there something else?
It's approximately 23 minutes by carriage to the Old Bailey from here. If you leave immediately, you should still be there in time.
But I just said that...
I was quite serious in what I told you. The defendant in this case has literally no one to advocate for him, which really should be a crime. We should have public defenders.
What?
At this point, he can't hope to find someone to represent him. The trial will begin without a defense. And if that happens, there's only one possible outcome. Guilty. Which, there's not, yeah. He will receive the most severe sentence the judge can pass down.
But that's awful.
But that is the truth.
Why does it have to be like this?
Oh, goodness. That was hard. Please don't expect an answer to every question. What is that supposed to mean? The cold, hard truth of the matter is that there is only one person now with a chance to save this man from a very miserable end. And that is you. I can't do it. I have to go get tea with the boys. Sorry.
I'm really his only hope?
So, what do you say now, madam?
Me? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart?
You said it wasn't an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances, and I agree. But in my estimation, it is purely and simply a matter of resolve.
Oh.
Our time is up here. I have a meeting to attend. I must leave in 2 minutes and 16 seconds. So, venture into our grand city and enjoy yourselves while you defend someone for murder.
Thank you, I will. Bye. He's gone. Let's ransack his desk. The Old Bailey.
What? Why was there a fade to black? Okay.
If we're going to do this, Mr. Naruhodo, we must leave at once.
Okay.
If we hurry and catch a cab, we may just make it to the courthouse on time.
Alright.
Oh, thank goodness, we're in time. There's still 15 minutes until the trial begins.
I never knew a horse-drawn carriage could go so fast. I thought my teeth were going to rattle loose.
Did you hear what I said to the driver when we climbed aboard? Get us to our destination in 5 minutes, driver, and there's a guinea in it for you. I didn't have a guinea pig, though. It's one of my favorite lines from the Sherlock Holmes stories, and it worked quite perfectly.
That's one of your favorite lines? That's a... That's a boring line. I'm not sure why you're so pleased. I thought we were going to die and we had to pay gold for the privilege.
Well, at least we arrived here before the trial started.
Yes, I suppose there's that.
Anyway, I don't understand it. The court clerk said the defendant shouldn't be here. But there's no sign of him at all. True. That bookshelf is really cool. As someone who loves interior design, that bookshelf is cool. Okay, so this is the Oak Bailey. Even this room for defendants to wait in is grand.
Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo?
Feeling tense, that's all. This place gives me the same sense of foreboding that I remember from the Supreme Court in Japan. An oppressive air, almost as if the building itself is going to crush whoever's about to be sentenced. Feels like only yesterday that I was the one about to be crushed. Oh, just wait until you meet the prosecutor.
Yes, whoever the man you're to defend is, I imagine he's feeling very alone at this moment.
Top of the morning to you, madam. Oh my gosh. Okay. Top of the morning to you, madam. Sir? Sir? I don't know how to do R's. Sir. What are you doing following me here? Things are fair desperate, are they? Sorry? I can't understand your English. Oh no. Would you look at those expressionless faces from the east, are yous? We're from Japan, yes. Ah, Japan, is it? Right, say no more. God, this sucks. So, how much do yous need? How much do yous need? No, we're just here because... No need to explain, fella. I've been there myself. I've been there myself, so I have. No place to go, nothing to eat, barely a penny to your name, and all while in a strange, faraway land. Well, actually, we haven't found a place to stay yet, no. 'Tis grand. Let me start by giving yous 1,000 guineas. Say nothing now.
A 1,000 guineas? Please, Mrs. Otto, don't have to shout. But 1,000 guineas is enough to build an entire mansion in the most prestigious area of Tokyo.
What? Tis nothing to me at all. I like to ensure I have sufficient funds to weather a rainy day, you see. God, this accent sucks. I have enough work to buy the city of London 2 or 3 times over. God, this feels worse than the Russian one. Okay, could that much rain even fall in one day? Well, even so, we couldn't possibly accept such a large sum of money. Do it, Ryunosuke! Take from the rich! Ah! I didn't mean the eye! Don't get me wrong, fella. I'm not giving it to you no strings attached. How does he know what we're here for? Did he? Yeah. I'd be wanting you to do something for me. Goodness. Oh? To be honest, 'tis a little embarrassing. The trial that's about to begin, you see, is for me good self here. I'll be in to talk. Tick-tock. So now, what I want you to do is come along with me and stand there beside me. Goodness. Officially, you'd be me lawyer, but that's just a little detail now. Oh, well, the thing is, don't worry about a thing. All you have to do is stand up there next to me, nothing more. Otherwise, you see, the trial's going to start without me having any kind of representation at all. So it was true. Lord Chief Justice wasn't just making it all up. Dang, you didn't have much confidence in him.
I'm terribly sorry to have to ask, but does that mean you're the defendant in this trial?
Bluster and blazes! Do you not know who I am? Me, one of London's biggest names? God. No, sorry. We've only just arrived in the city, you see. I see. I suppose it isn't altogether impossible. Well, just next to Hyde Park there in the centre of London is another beautiful park. Sorry? A park? What? What are you on about, man? It's called McGilded Park, full of blue blossoming flowers in the spring and singing birds and whatnot. I donated it to the city, so I did.
An entire park in central London?
City of Smiles, that's the vision for London. There's nothing Magnus McGilded wouldn't do for the city and its queer old people. That's amazing. I mean, really extraordinary. Oh my gosh, dude, calm down. But
Now they've got the gall to say I'm a Gryffindor criminal. Me, Magnus McGilded. God. What is the matter with London police, I ask you? He's unhinged! Alright, don't pass out. Yeah, really.
Mr. Naruhodo, are you sure we should take this case? Perhaps now would be a good time to introduce ourselves while the gentleman catches his breath.
Good idea. Mr. McGilded, the thing is, we're actually here in London to study British law. We're law students on a study tour from Japan, you see. So, if you don't have a lawyer for the trial yet, and you'd be happy to put yourself in our hands, we'll do our best. What was I after saying, you daft Egypt? I've given you 1,000 guineas to stand up there next to me, haven't I? Well, yes, but I wasn't really offering to just stand up there next to you. Oh. Oh, I think I see what's going on here. He's almost Canadian. Sorry. I know what you're thinking. This chancellor of a fella claims to have more money than the Queen. But if that's true, why the blazes can't he hire the finest lawyer in all of England, London? Because he did it! That's the only explanation. Well? Well? I have to. Like, it has to happen. Well, yes, exactly. What now? But like you said, if you have all that money, but you don't have anyone to represent you in court, there's no other logical conclusion that you're guilty of the charges. I've never picked this one. Well, you call a spade in the East, so you do. Oh, I don't know what that means. I'm sorry, I didn't mean any offense. I still can't express myself very well in English, you see, you liar. And I'm never sure what's acceptable to say and what isn't, so... Oh, our little boy doesn't have good social skills. Don't worry, neither do I. Is that so? Because you sounded fluent enough when you were telling me what a blackguard I must be. Terribly sorry. I can't say that I blame you for thinking it, fella. It is a little strange, to be honest. Why you don't have a lawyer, I mean. Ooh, the music. That would be the fault of the Reaper. Oh, yeah. Sorry, did he just say Reaper? Aw, man? I'm so sorry. Reaper. Aw, man. Aye, the Grim Reaper of the Bailey, Lord Varric Van Zeeks. He's the prosecutor. The prosecutor is the Grim Reaper? That's so funny. I love it. When Van Zeek stands for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. And to this day, in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. What? So it's reached a desperate situation, where there's no one willing to stand in defense against a fella at all. You could say he's a living legend of the Old Bailey. Goodness, Lord Barrick Van Zeeks. Must be an exceptionally talented prosecutor then. Talented isn't the word you're looking for, madam. It's cursed. Cursed? What on earth? Oh, well, the defendant is summoned and his counsel. Please make your way into the courtroom. The trial's about to begin. His counsel? That would be me. Oh, 'tis time. Well then, fella, don't let me down. But I don't know anything about the case. You haven't told me what happened. And I don't need to. Get in there. Until you showed your face here, I'd made up my mind, so I had. Sorry? I decided I'd have to defend myself in there. How would that have worked? Did you not do it? But then you made an appearance, a student of law, wouldn't you know? 'Tis no accident, I can assure you of that. 'Tis fate.
So don't get cold feet now, please. Okay, sure. Whatever you say, man. I literally know nothing about the case or about this man who stands accused. In fact, the only thing I do know is that I can't just turn my back on him. Okay.
Mr. Naruhodo.
The man has no one. He'll have to stand alone in that courtroom armed with nothing to defend himself. Yes, something that Kazuma would have never allowed to happen. Counsel for the defense, what are you doing? If you're late for the start of the trial, you lose your right to stand? Oh my gosh. Alright, let's get in there. You heard him. I'll be right there. It's happening then. My first trial in a British court. I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. Because I have no idea how I'm going to manage this. Oh yeah, we get a jury now. So this is the highest court in Great Britain. The Old Bailey. Centuries of history in this place is palpable, isn't it? It's so different to the Supreme Court in Japan.
It feels both imposing and serene at the same time. The atmosphere almost makes words redundant. Whatever the country, determining a person's guilt or innocence is always a solemn affair. May I say something, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh, yes? What? Oh, I love that they do the animation of him. Oh no.
Your eyes look ready to pop out of your head again.
I know, but I just can't help it. I'm just a little guy. Oh. Oh, I love him. I hate him, but I love him. Alright, we got Santa Judge. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are here today to determine the guilt or innocence of Mr. Magnus McGilded. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. Okay, the prosecution is fully prepared. I think that's his voice. That must be the Reaper of the Bailey. Oh my god, he's a vampire. He really does look fully prepared to dispatch his next poor victim to the underworld. Literally, they took Grim Reaper very seriously when designing this character. Counsel for the defense, you appear to be Eastern. Do you speak English? Oh my god. I'm gonna come up there and I'm gonna hit you. I can't believe Santa's a racist. Huh? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. But he asked if the defense was ready. And I couldn't be further from ready if I tried. Also, it is very sweet. I didn't point it out, but he's got Kazuma's armband on. And it's on the opposite arm as well, which I don't know if that's supposed to just be like since he's not a lawyer, it's a respect thing or what. But yeah, it's sweet. Oh, look at this guy. Those eyes please me. Nipponese. See, I don't like it. I don't like it. He's racist. I don't like it. He's so racist. He's awful. What? They shroud your fear, your doubt, your trepidation. They run wild, clinging to some phantom notion of courage. Okay. The quintessential look of a sacrificial lamb. Okay. Okay, man. Cold shiver just ran down my spine all the way to the tips of my toes. This guy is going to murder me. No, Mr. McGilded. Yes, me lord. Oh my god, that's really hard to switch between. You stand accused of murder, a capital offense. You could be sent to the gallows if found guilty. Santa's saying this. Are you quite sure you wish to entrust your defense to this foreigner? I hate you, Santa. As I've always said, me lord, 'tis a grand thing to give opportunities to the young. Even if the fella is a student from some little island off in the Far East. Dang. Is it not a British way to ignore the dangers to yourself and give those less fortunate a fair chance? Oh my god, I'm stumbling through him. I'd like to think that acts of chivalry do the great British Empire proud. Listen to Mr. McGilded, what a fine London gentleman. Did you hear that he donated £5,000 to the government the other day? Mother, please, may we go and play in McGilded Park?
It seems as though everyone in the public gallery is firmly behind Mr. McGilded.
I don't see anyone behind him. That's definitely welcome news, and he certainly has a way with words. I'm surprised he couldn't convince anyone to defend him. I'm sorry, but like, Dracula's behind the behind the prosecution bench, I'm just saying.
Eloquently put, Mr. McGilded, and most laudable sentiments. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm sure I need hardly remind you.
God, I have to come up with voices for all of these people.
That you 6 members of the public have been selected for your impartiality. Are you ready to proceed?
Okay, I guarantee these are gonna change by the next time they talk. Okay,
Yes, my lord, if the task is to send rotters to the gallows where they belong, I'm more than ready.
At the manor, his lordship always says we should dispose of rubbish promptly. Naturally, I agree.
any criminals here will soon be wishing they never set eyes on me. This guy's insane. He's unhinged. Oh, I like her. No, she didn't even say... Dude, this guy's drunk. That's always been my headcanon for him. I feel a chill.
Oh, don't mind me, my dears. I'll just be getting on with my knitting. Must finish these mitts for my grandson.
Mr. Naruto, those people are... The jury, yes. That's something we don't have in Japan yet.
That's right. I've only ever read about it. But here in Great Britain, the court's final verdict depends on the opinions of these 6 jurors. The judge passes sentence according to the law, but the jurors determine guilt based on common sense. So the defendant is ultimately judged from 2 completely different points of view.
But how exactly do the jurors give their verdict?
That I don't know, but I'm sure it will become clear as the trial progresses.
Yes.
Prosecutor Van Zeeks.
My lord?
It's been a number of years since we've seen you here in the courtroom. I thought you'd renounced your fame.
Interesting. I'm known as the Reaper of the Bailey, my lord. Infamy, rather than fame, I would say. But yes, 5 years have passed since I last spread my wings in this capacity. My bat wings. I am a vampire. Did you notice?
So what brings you back? Is there some change of circumstance of which the court should be aware?
I leave that to your imagination, my lord. Okay. So the Reaper's been out of action for 5 years. He's rusty! Why did he have to choose today of all days to make a comeback? But hey, he's rusty!
Don't lose heart, Mr. Naruto. Mr. Naruto.
Goodness gracious.
As you wish, sir. The court nevertheless welcomes your return. Now then, opening statements, I think. Hold on, let me look at my script. Yes, opening statements. A summary of the case, if you please.
Certainly, my lord. As your lordship is aware, this case is a case of overwhelming simplicity. We must be the only ones in here who aren't aware. Yeah, for real. Look at his scroll. The incident took place in the late evening, 3 days past. The hour was some minutes after 10. The hour was some minutes. That doesn't sound right, Vinceeks. Victim was a maker of building bricks, known in the community as Thrice-Fired Mason. Awesome name. Sorry? Thrice? Like rice? I swear.
He was a very accomplished craftsman. The bricks he fired were said to be almost indestructible.
The victim's corpse was discovered in an omnibus in service on the streets of London at the time.
A dagger that had been thrust into the victim's abdomen is believed to be the ultimate cause of death. Here is the autopsy report from the investigating medical officer at Scotland Yard. Yay, we got an autopsy report! No more post-mortem reports. Thank you, counsel. I shall accept that and the photograph as evidence. Okay. Internal hemorrhaging as a result of a single stab wound to the abdomen. His face is partly obscured. An old crooked hat. And one further item of evidence. The prosecution wishes to submit these as well. And these are... Good Lord! Is that blood, counsel? Yes, my lord. We are in a murder trial. I don't know if you are paying attention, but we are in a murder. There's going to be blood. Yes, my lord. Seized by a policeman who arrived at the scene. These gore-soaked gloves were taken from the hands of the accused when he was arrested. What? Mr. McGilded's gloves had blood on them? That's not good. Also, Van Zeeks is 6'4", so he is just as scary as Strongheart, IMO in my opinion. Yes, I will accept these as evidence as well. It's so nasty. Oh my gosh. Okay. How did I get into this? I'm backed into a corner before I've even started. Continuing. According to the driver of the omnibus, there were only 2 passengers traveling inside his vehicle at the time. Only 2? Obviously, one of those passengers was the deceased brickmaker, Mr. Mason. I love that his last name is Mason. That's so good. The other was the accused, Magnus McGilded. Well, rather damning circumstances to say the least. Defendant, what say you? Well, of course, I have no recollection of such a thing. Mr. McGilded. To be sure, I rode the omnibus that evening. But whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness, and I always succumb to it. Yeah, that's based. Me too. Are you really claiming to have been asleep when the murder was committed? 'Tis the motion of the carriage, my lord. Lilting so it is, and when I opened me eyes again, 'twas a desperate sight before me. The body of a man I'd never laid eyes on before in me life. Now I ask yous, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't able to start worrying about me gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand. So the blood got onto the gloves then, after the man had been killed? Nuh-uh. Unfortunately, that statement of the driver's is only the beginning. What? That's not all of it? There were multiple witnesses to the precise moment at which the brickmaker was fatally stabbed. Damn it. Oh, I stumbled at the cool zoom. Oh, that sucks. That's unfortunate. Order! 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 There, I hit the side of my chair. When the killing took place, only the victim and the accused were inside the carriage. And there were witnesses to the crime, somehow. This is not just a case of compelling evidence. It's the nail in the coffin for the accused. He's so scared. Okay, guilty! Thank you, counsel. The circumstances of the crime have been made quite clear. I think we will hear testimony from these witnesses first of all. Your wish is my command. Bailiff, bring the witnesses in at once. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm so excited for all of these characters. Witnesses, your names and occupations. Yes, this is my guy. My name is, well, everyone calls me Beppo. I drive an omnibus in the East End. Bruce Fairplay. I'm a banker in the city.
My name's First Lady First. Make hats for gents.
Lady First. Let's begin by confirming the facts. 3 days ago, at a short time after 10 o'clock in the evening, all of you present in the stand were in an omnibus and witness to the aforementioned incident. Is that correct? Yes, sir. Quite right. I've already forgotten his voice. Quite right.
Yes, sir. That's right, sir.
Very well then. Let's proceed to your formal testimonies, please. Each of you will tell the court precisely what you saw. Alright. It was the last bus of the evening, so I had few customers. I remember it well. The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus. Then out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right into his guts. Goodness.
Oh no, that's right. He stabbed him. I screamed, I did. Couldn't help it.
As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my bus, and then I saw it too. Well, you didn't see the moment. You saw after it happened. Unambiguous testimony, I must say. Exactly, my lord. These men witnessed the incident in the omnibus with their own eyes.
I'd like to ask a question, if I may.
Yes, counsel?
Well, this testimony makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever.
Why not?
Well, the incident took place inside a moving carriage, didn't it?
As has been clearly stated from the outset, yes. He's so mean.
Well, in that case, how could those two witnesses possibly have seen what happened? There's no way they could have seen the inside of the moving carriage.
How quaint. I'd read that civilization, the Eastern Island nations, was a good century behind our own. He's so evil! But you're here in London yourself. Are you really so ignorant about our omnibuses? Huh? I got here 2 hours ago. Tell me, my Nipponese friend, have you ever traveled in an omnibus? Probably not. Well, no. We, only arrived in London this morning. Yeah. No matter. You should've. I've arranged for us all to see ourselves. The actual scene of the crime, that is.
What do you mean? The actual scene? How?
The carriage is designed to be moved, after all. Presumably you understand that much? My gosh.
Yes, I do, jerk.
The omnibus in which this bloody crime took place is here today, in this very building.
Here? What? The entire carriage?
Bailiff! Bring forth the stricken omnibus! Okay. You don't have to be so dramatic.
Wait, did they cut the stand in half?
It looks like they cut the witness stand in half.
Okay, so that's an omnibus. The omnibus. I can't believe they could bring something so enormous in here. Great Britain's courtrooms are amazing.
As you can see, the omnibus is pulled by 2 horses and can carry up to 8 passengers. Thanks for the drawing. 4 passengers seated inside the enclosed cabin and another 4 on the rooftop deck above. Every Londoner knows that the best views of the city's architecture and sights are to be had from the top of an omnibus.
And I should point out to our foreign guests that there is a skylight in the roof, allowing a view of the interior from the seats above.
Ah, skylight. That's so cool. Ah!
The penny drops at last, I see. These two gentlemen were occupying the rooftop seats on this omnibus when the murder took place. That is how they came to witness the grim incident. Through the skylight.
That makes perfect sense.
Well, Counsel, this is a first. Lady first. In all my years on behind the bench, I've never experienced the crime scene itself being brought into the courtroom. I lost his voice a little bit there. There are a number of important clues remaining inside the carriage, my lord. I would like to submit the omnibus itself as evidence, but it's a crime scene. That is the prosecution's wish. Adjusting his wig. Very well, I see no reason why not. This omnibus is hereby formally accepted as evidence. Okay.
I can't believe it. The entire crime scene entered as evidence? It breaks all the rules.
Yes, Great Britain is simply extraordinary.
Could help myself a lot by giving that omnibus a thorough examination, seeing as it's here, which we're gonna do. One, there's a little Easter egg right there. Which is kind of dumb. Oh, why can't I turn it all the way around? That sucks. Okay, we'll go in.
Well, let's open the door and go inside, shall we?
Oh, scene of a murder. It's horrible. It's not like I've been to 3. This will be the 3rd one. Alright, well there's some ketchup on the seat. I'm sure that's unrelated. That's blood that soaked into the seat. The victims, obviously.
Yes, and that seat would be clearly visible from the roof deck.
Would you really stab someone in full view of the other passengers like that, I wonder?
Well, it was after dark. And there was a lamp on in here, so perhaps the culprits couldn't see anything outside through the skylight.
Whichever way you look at it, it doesn't seem like it was a planned attack. True. Okay, there's nothing on the floor. Skylight. It's quite a large skylight, isn't it?
Yes, quite large enough to afford a good view into the cabin from the roof deck above.
There doesn't appear to be a handle or catch of any description, so I suppose it can't be opened from the inside cabin, at least. Inside the cabin. Okay. No, there's nothing up there. It's down here. This seat has a handle, it seems. Oh, okay. We've got assorted items. This looks like all sorts of equipment that might be needed to keep the omnibus running.
Feeding tubs, tools to repair wheels, blankets, horseshoeing tools. There's a storage compartment for the coachman to keep his things, it seems.
Unlocked. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any space for passengers to stow their luggage, that's for sure.
Well, I don't imagine it would be very convenient for that purpose anyway.
That's true. Alright, we've seen it. We know what it looks like now.
Let us continue with the proceedings, then. Your cross-examination, counsel.
Pray don't expect this Nipponese stray to understand the intricacies of a British court's cross-examination rights. Venzeeks, I'm about to throw hands with you. Like, you may be armed, but like, I don't care. We're throwing hands. I'm pissed. Yeah, he's like literally just shut up. Hold on, I've got to breathe to make sure I don't come across and attack you. Yeah, because he's also wearing karma. He could straight up just draw it and they have a sword fight in the middle of the courtroom. Alright, my first cross-examination of British court. Focus, Ryunosuke. Focus. Okay. Oh, the stained glass now in the back instead of the paper. It's really cool. You actually saw the exact moment it happened. Didn't I already testify to that? Or fair, dinkum, hard-working city bankers not considered trustworthy these days. Or fair, dinkum, hard-working city bankers not considered trustworthy these days. Oh, no, I didn't mean it that. This is not good. I've really got his back up. Perhaps you could just tell us what you saw in a little more detail, if that's... Oh my god, I forgot. I should have pressed them all. My lord. Juror number 3, what is the meaning of this? My mind is made up, my lord. Completely and utterly made up. Already? Made up about what? I don't like the stinking rich. Never have. Oh, so he's based. Juror number 3 is based. They're always up to something or other that they shouldn't be. Every one of them. And that little leprechaun of a man is no exception. Well, he can't fool me. That's evil. Yeah, look at the fireballs! Oh my god. It's so awesome. Okay, there's no point wasting time listening to any more of this. That's my opinion on the matter anyway. Oh my gosh, that is precisely what I was about to say. I've got the most generic voice of them all. As the foreman of the jury, it is my duty to set a good example to my fellow jurors. Guilty. We pressed one statement. What is happening here?
Let me see. Yes, it seems that's how the members of the jury give their verdicts.
With fire?
Apparently, yes. White for innocent and black for guilty. As the 6 members of the jury make up their minds about the case, one by one they each cast a ball of fire into the great scales of justice, as we saw a moment ago.
So if those enormous scales fall completely to the black side, does that mean...
Let's do our very best to make sure that doesn't happen.
Oh, now I'm even more worried than I was before.
Very well, the court acknowledges the change in the jury's stance.
You can't do that in the middle of court. Just be like, hey, I've decided that I think that he's guilty. And they're like, okay, whatever.
Counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination.
Ah, this is a nightmare. Okay, well. Hold it! He stabbed him, you say, and you were sitting up on the roof deck, were you?
Yes, that's right, sir. I was up on the roof seats. I remember seeing the little gent sit next to the fella that was stabbed. I'd been thinking about a new hat design, you see, so I was just gazing absent-mindedly around. But then I happened to look down through the skylight. It was sticking right out of his belly, that huge, great knife.
A grim sight indeed.
Ah, that didn't help me at all. The jury looked like they're even more convinced my client did it than they were before.
That appears to have made everyone even more dubious that Mr. McGilded is telling the truth. If only we had some evidence to counter their suspicions.
Mr. First!
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh, poor guy. Is this the knife you saw?
Oh, good grief. Yes, that's it. The very one, sir.
And you could tell that through the skylight? Is that... Yes, counsel. This is the blade that was driven into the victim's belly like a stake through the heart. By the way, don't get any ideas.
That is a blade of considerable size, counsel.
Why, thank you. I've always been proud of my blade of considerable size. Oh, put that away, Lord Van Six. Oh, I'm so sorry, that's disgusting. Okay. It is. And furthermore, the scabbard is emblazoned prominently with a certain initial. The letter M, which seems oddly familiar. It was Mikatoba who did it.
Susato, no! Please, no. M for Magnus, perhaps? Or McGilded, possibly? Or Mason? Take your pick. It seems this particular big name in London made a magnificent mistake. He made an oopsie. Oh, we get our first objection. Oh no. But there are M's everywhere, like M&M's. Like, yes, like in Mason.
Objection!
Oh, it's his first line. Nice. This blade is far too extravagant for a poor brickmaker to have owned. Is he really saying that poor people aren't allowed to have good things? He could have, like, that could be an heirloom. Like, I don't know. Come on, man. No! This weapon of murder almost certainly belongs to the accused.
Yeah, not conclusive, but certainly compelling, counsel.
Its quality suggests it may be valuable. My lord, if you'll forgive the interruption.
Juror number 2. Go on.
Mr. McGilded is a pillar of society and a gentleman, and a gentleman's word should be sacrosanct.
Okay, whatever that means.
However, those of us in service know that we must accept hard truths.
Wait, what are you about to do?
Dispose of the rubbish!
That's right. Wait, no, I don't want that, but I do, because he's rich, but no! No!
I don't wish to cause offense, but I do like to eradicate all traces of filth and grime.
Oh my gosh, her too. I haven't even gotten to speak as her yet.
I have painstakingly typed every word uttered here today and cross-referenced all the facts. As such, I am now in a position to draw the only logical conclusion.
I'm trying to give her a librarian vibe. A vibrarian. Not again.
That's 4 out of 6 jury members who proposed a guilty verdict. There are only 2 left.
We've had it. Every time I press these witnesses for more information, I just make the situation worse.
Nevertheless, what we need more than anything at the moment is more information. We're still very much in the dark.
Suppose I'll just have to keep pressing the witnesses, knowing that more sparks may well fly.
We mustn't give up hope that we'll uncover something that will give us a way to fight back.
But... Alright, I'll keep trying. I can't give up. I'll just need to keep calm and listen to the witnesses' statements again. What? Oh.
Hold it!
The whip noise. What exactly did you see?
Oh, well, sir, that would be the passenger, sir. Yes, collapsed on the floor he was.
And by the passenger, obviously you are referring to the victim, Mr. Mason, the brickmaker.
And the other passenger had the knife in his hand like this.
By the other passenger, obviously you are referring to the accused, Mr. Magnus McGilded.
And then he plunged it down like this, stabbing the other passenger in the belly.
You didn't see that, though. What? You literally couldn't have seen that. You were driving the bus.
Order! Order!
That was fun.
It is hard to believe of one of London's greatest philanthropists, but this is damning indeed.
The law knows no philanthropists, my lord. Only the innocent and the guilty. See, sometimes he's based, and then sometimes he's cringe. Good deeds mean nothing when overshadowed by evil. The truth is everything.
Couldn't agree more, sir. The truth.
Alright, so when it happened, the only 2 people in the enclosed cabin area were the victim and the defendant. And, so help me, 3 whole people witnessed the man I'm trying to defend do the deed.
I don't like to be pessimistic, but
We do seem to be in a rather difficult situation here. Oh, what am I supposed to think here? Is Mr. McGilded really innocent? Or could it be? jump to conclusions. Our first task should be to gather information. We need to understand the case much better than we do at the moment.
Yes, you're absolutely right. She's keeping him together. Let's listen to those witness statements again a little more carefully this time. Huh? Okay, you have to press the 5th statement, and then you have to press the 1st statement. That's stupid. Yes, I think it was some after 10, wasn't it?
Oh, yes, sir. That's right, sir. Yes, ever so cold it was. Freezing, in fact, sir.
And you had 4 passengers on board at the time, is that correct?
Yes, that's right, sir. Not all traveling in the same parts of the bus, of course, no. And there were no other passengers when the incident took place. No one alighted, for example.
Their voices are very similar.
You're quite right with that, sir. No other passengers like that, no, none.
So nobody fled the scene of the crime, then?
I have to say the boss insists on it running, he does. Every evening. The last bus of the day. But I do wonder sometimes if it's altogether worthwhile. Yes, sorry to say.
What do you mean by that?
Well, what with it being so cold and everything, and only making 20 pence on the run, you see. Yes, I spend that much at the pub on the way home just trying to warm up again. I just can't believe it, sir. Can't believe it. I'm a murderer on my own bus. It's too awful to think about. I haven't been able to shake this cold ever since it happened.
Gosh. Oh, that's hard to read. Oh, that hurt. Oh my gosh. Okay. My lord, I wish to speak.
Yes, juror number 5. Do I take it that you too?
As the master of the London Guild of Coachmen, the idea of a murder being committed in one of the city's carriages is utterly abhorrent to me. Wouldn't be right to make a decision before hearing all the facts there, I said to myself. But I changed my mind. But I've heard enough now. The horse is bolted, as they say. No, please, just keep an open mind a little. Giddy up now, Silver Blaze. Okay, get up now, the Silver Blaze. The finish is in sight. Do you even know where you are? Well, shit. There's 5 out of 6. Beppo is a long-standing member of the guild, and I trust what the man says.
Oh, thank you, sir. You're too kind, sir.
This is too unkind, sir. Don't make fun of his stutter. Which now means that 5 jurors agree to condemn this man. Madam Juror number 6.
Yes, dear. What can I do for you?
Dear. He's a deer? This guy's a deer? You have heard the testimonies of the witnesses in the stand.
Oh, yes, I certainly have. Still got my hearing, you know.
Then, pray tell, why are you yet to pronounce your leaning?
Well, dear, the thing is, I'm a creature of habit, me. I always go to the park at around this time of day and sit on a nice bench and get on with my knitting.
He's so done.
There's a lovely little park just near where I live. McGilded Park, it's called.
This is, see, she's definitely biased.
The gentleman donated it to the city, you know, to put a smile on Londoners' faces, as he said. I can't imagine such a fine young gentleman would have it in him to take another man's life.
He's always doing wonderful things for the city, that's right. A man like that wouldn't stab someone, surely. Mother, may we go to McGilded Public Library later and borrow some books? McGilded Library? How many Londoners live with their heads in the clouds? Do you people not know? What kind of a man Magnus McGilded really is? Ooh! Okay. This is the first time we get Van Zieks' theme song. His is also one of the best in the soundtrack to me. It's really good. It's a banger. What kind of a man is he? The philanthropist Magnus McGilded. Has enough wealth to purchase the entire city he claims to value so highly. But where did all that wealth come from? Your client is a Shylock, sir, and one with the very darkest of souls. What? Stoned crows. What? McGilded lends money at extortionate rates of interest so his victims have no hope of repaying him. When they default, he takes possession of everything they own. He is a vulture that preys on the weak.
I've never heard any mention of that before.
Your faculties haven't deserted you, I'm sure, madam. So has this thought not crossed your mind? Would a man wealthy enough to buy London in its entirety not have a carriage of his own? Okay, good point. Good point. I mean, I certainly do. What possible reason could this man have had to make use of a public omnibus service? You're not saying that... See? He's a very competent prosecutor. He's the smartest one in any Ace Attorney game to me. Sadly. I say with disdain. Okay. The victim, a poor brickmaker, had next to nothing to his name save considerable financial liability. It will come as no surprise that his creditor was the accused, Magnus McGilded. But let it also be known that the very day Mr. Mason was killed was the final repayment date for his debts. Uh-oh. Good gracious. Yes, I love doing the good graciouses. The brickmaker was destitute. He had lost his house. He had not a shilling with which to repay his debts. And in the end, this pitiful soul had the very last thing he owned taken from him. His life. By the merciless philanthropist pretender, Magnus McGilded. I don't believe it.
Ooh! If I might add something briefly.
Mrs. Sato? Get him.
You claimed that the victim had been lent money by Mr. McGilded. But where's the evidence to support your claim?
Shit. I didn't think they would call my bluff. Oh. Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hallowed chalice in a court of law.
Aha! There it is! Lord Van Zieks' hallowed chalice!
That's so ridiculous! The judge is a fanboy! Lord Van Zieks' hallowed chalice! Oh my god. It's so exciting. He's drinking wine in court. That's so exciting. How can this be considered acceptable? Because he's rich. But I find myself in an unexpectedly good humor. I had heard ladies from the Far East could show great courage, but I did not expect to experience it myself. Everything has to be about where they're from, huh?
As judicial assistant to the defense, I'm simply doing my job.
You tell him. What a pity that your display of courage is in vain. This is the debtor's ledger, which details all monies loaned by the accused. You will find the victim's name clearly recorded inside.
Oh.
Allow me to present this ledger as evidence. Why I was keeping it in my little cape, I don't know. And pray forgive the discourtesy of raising my chalice in a toast to the enigmatic East at the same time. I'm gonna kill you! You are going to die, Van Zieks. Gosh, he sucks.
A marvelous toast, Counsel.
Do you know what enigmatic means?
I will gladly accept this new evidence.
Okay.
Ah, yes. 20 guineas. Victim owed a considerable sum.
And the accused made quite certain he had ample recompense.
Well, it would seem I've had the wool pulled over my eyes.
Regrettably, madam, that is the modus operandi of the accused.
And he's such a pretty little part, too. What a scoundrel.
Uh-oh. No! No!
Still, maybe it's all for the best.
Ah, wait a minute. Let's think about this a little more before... I don't stand for nonsense. I don't stand for nonsense. What did my voice do? Oh my god, okay. I don't stand for nonsense. And... we've lost the case already. That fast. Oh no. That was it. The last juror's decision. Well, time to go home. We did our best.
According to this Encyclopedia of British Law, when all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. That's what it says here.
The final verdict. It's over then.
Oh! There's a footnote, though.
A footnote?
However, the defense...
All 6 members of the jury are now in agreement in this case.
Dang. Allow me to convey my respect for your swift and righteous decision.
According to the laws of aviation, there is no way that a bee should be able to fly. According to the laws of this country, I will now conclude the trial by delivering my final verdict. I trust there are no objections.
Mrs. Otto, just tell me one thing.
Oh, yes?
You were in the middle of saying something before. The footnote in your Encyclopedia of British Law. However, the defense... What did it say next?
Oh, yes, of course. One moment. When all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. Then the footnote says, however, the defense has the right to demand a summation examination of the jurors at this point.
Who's it? What's it now? Summation examination?
Objection!
A summation examination?
A summation examination?
A summation examination?
Summationization? They're just getting increasingly more confused. From which century has that tomb you have there been resurrected?
Ah!
Judging from the binding, I would say that book is at least 50 years old. Any modern text on British law wouldn't even give such an antiquated procedure a mention. It's a relic, long forgotten and certainly no longer practiced. But it's there. So you're out of luck. No, it's still there.
Oh.
What even is it, Mrs. Otto? This so-called summation examination.
Oh, one moment, and I'll read about it.
You would demand the right to a procedure before you even understand what it entails. Typical Nipponese. I'm gonna kill you, Venzix. Oh my gosh. He's horrible.
Alright, Mr. Naruto, I think I understand. It seems that under this procedure, we would be able to appeal to the members of the jury.
To do what, exactly?
Appeal to them to change their leaning and reverse their decisions. And it says here that, if successful, the proceedings of the trial must be resumed.
Gosh, I'm so sorry for the squeaking. Make them reverse their decisions.
Yes, in times gone by, barristers would use a summation examination to attempt to influence the jury's decision. But that procedure became something of a formality with no practical benefit, really. So it rather fell out of use.
I wonder why.
Because it was devoid of purpose. Changing just one member of the jury's mind would be hard enough, let alone several. No self-respecting defense barrister would even assert his right to try in this day and age. Well, I'm not a self-respecting defense barrister, so I assert my right to try.
Still, I don't see any mention of the procedure actually being formally revoked.
What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that although it may be antiquated and largely forgotten, it isn't yet extinct. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
A summation examination, a last possible option. Do we assert our right to carry it out, or admit defeat? Forget it. The defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination, my lord.
Objection!
Of course he's gonna object. London is the capital city of the most powerful nation on earth. We have a duty to the world to exemplify the very highest standards of judicial procedure. Summation examinations are an embarrassment that should remain buried. But if it's our right, it's our right. I believe it could prove vital in this trial.
The defense's petition is perfectly valid. The court will proceed with the summation exclamation.
This is madness. No, this is summation examination.
Foreman, are you and the remainder of the jury ready?
Well, I'm not, there was no mention of this in the letter I received, you see, so...
All members of the jury will be asked to explain on what grounds they have reached their decision.
On what grounds? I'm so sorry. His voice is bad.
You must all justify your decisions and explain why you believe the defendant to be guilty.
Well, my lord, you're rather putting us on the spot.
This is most irregular. No mention of this was made before. I don't really hold with all this justifying lark.
She's just typing. She's writing fan fiction. That seems to have thrown the jurors off.
It seems none of them have experienced this before.
Alright then, summation examination. A defense procedure no practicing lawyers attempted for years, is it? Well, just maybe. It might be the opportunity we've been looking for to turn this trial around.
So be it then. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court hereby calls upon you to state the grounds on which you find the defendant, Magnus McGilded, guilty of this most serious crime.
Judicial findings.